Sea of Thieves Season 10 is finally coming out in 4 days' time, and it feels like we're coming to the end of the darkest era for Sea of Thieves in the last 5.5 years. From a horrendous cheating problem to big delays, a controversial crossover and a modest content update, Season 9 is not only the longest season we've had, but is arguably the smallest. Join me as we go over Season 9 in our end of season retrospective. Season 9 was released on the 16th of March 2023 and was marketed as a quality of life update for the game, with all the seasonal bells and whistles such as the Season Pass, a Plunder Pass, and the ever-present Pirate Emporium updates. Starting with the main piece of content, we had the Chest of Fortune. This was a new loot piece, similarly modelled to the Sea Dog chest from the arena, that would be a new live service element for the game. The Chest of Fortune would be moved around different activities every season and had an accompanying commendation, which is planned to have new grades each season. Players could earn parts of the Fate of Fortune cosmetic set if they turn in 30 of them. The Reaper's chests were the second piece of content, being updated so the Beam of Light stays active even when picked up. For turning in 30 Reaper's bounties or Reaper's chests, more Fate of Fortune items were available. Pirate Legends also had access to new voyages. One allowed them to find cursed chests exclusively, and the new, sort of not new Chest of Badness Sorrow, a chest of sorrow that would cry endlessly. The Black Powder Stashes voyages was back too, and the new Skull of Destiny was added, allowing players to start the Fort of the Damned with just this, as it had the ability to toggle between all 6 Flames of Fate. That wraps up the content, but another big selling point for the season was a myriad of quality of life changes. Harpoons would now automatically drop treasure on the deck of your ship, making harpooning loot so much more efficient. The treasure/collector's chests now had the ability to sell the content without manually handing the loot to the NPC. These were just some of the minor changes included. Finally, in the gameplay department, world events were rebalanced and made easier for smaller crews, with the Fort of the Damned and Fortune made shorter and easier for all crews by removing waves and decreasing skeleton health. Oh, and the Flameheart Ghost Fleet returned, easier and without Captain Flameheart. Essentially, Season 9 really focused on refreshing the sandbox to make it as smooth as possible, whilst making the game more accessible for new players. The Season Pass was the best yet, with actual pirate clothing with the Prosperous Privateer set. A long-awaited jacket was released, called the Legendary Bone Hunter Jacket, with the only downside being the Spyglass for Pirate Legends, as this was an underwhelming item in a slot that only releases 6 times per year, at this point anyway. Overall, for a small update and something that should only last 3 to 4 months, it was initially well received. With some adventures sprinkled in, surely this would be a pretty swell season, with Flameheart's return imminent. Things were looking up. Well, yeah, about that. Following the start of Season 9, there were plans to celebrate Sea of Thieves' 5th anniversary, and fans naturally expected big things. It was half a decade after all. The celebration was a selfie walk Port Merrick, which had been completed at the start of Season 9. Adventures were delayed indefinitely, as they were pushed back to allow Season 9 and these anniversary celebrations to breathe. Along with the selfie board, there was also an in-game event, which had a series of simple challenges that allowed players to earn 4 previous items from the game's previous anniversary celebrations. This created a controversy, as players who had them previously could only earn 1 new item. I'm going to go on a mini rant here, so buckle up. It also devalued those items. Before anyone goes into the comments about this, I'll explain to you very simply. If the Pokemon Company decided to reprint a first edition base set Charizard exactly how it looked in 1999 with no possible way of discerning it from the original, and all you had to do was say, just buy some packs and hope it's in one of them, I imagine all those collectors who have the original first edition base set Charizards would be pissed off, because something they value or see as special is now common as muck. Even more so if they were told these items were exclusive and never ever coming back. It is no different with digital items, especially in a game that harks on about cosmetics being the sum of your achievements. Cosmetics are meant to say, hey, I was there for such and such. If it was the Hungering Deep or buying cannons from the store for 320 gold in a specific period, the principle matters. Many will say, who cares about pixels, or a bit of card with ink on it, or even precious metals. People assign value to things based on how much it's worth to them, both financially and sentimentally. It's arbitrary, but it's a fact of life. The people now calling any of those players entitled are flat out wrong, and hypocritical because they also kick up a stink about items they never earned but feel entitled to them for whatever reason. This happened a few times with the Obsidian items, which were added to Game Pass perks, but I think the two controversies are a bit different. Anyway, Season 9 got 6 patches in total, not including the initial patch, and these, outside of the Monkey Island Tall Tales, were pretty small in nature and included mainly Emporium updates and some refreshes to the Gold Store, ranging from pretty good to really underwhelming. Again, this wasn't too bad. No adventures and a small season would be fine if it was only for 3 months, or even 4 months, but then came the first delay. On the 9th of June, 3 months into Season 9, the in-game seasonal countdown was changed from 4 weeks remaining to 8 weeks remaining, meaning Season 9 was going to last 5 months in total. This tied with Season 6's extension also being 5 months. However, at this point it was announced that a new adventure would be coming in June, Adventure 12, A Dark Deception. Whilst this was a primer for the Monkey Island crossover, it was generally well received but did not really progress the story or adventures forward in a meaningful way. Also, all mention of the name Adventure 12 has been scrubbed away, the trailer is gone, the name has been removed from the game, and any mention of it on social media has been removed. At the Xbox Showcase in June, Rare revealed a very exciting addition to the game. Sea of Thieves and Monkey Island would soon be getting a crossover called The Legend of Monkey Island. This was a set of 3 tall tales, releasing monthly from July to September, and covers Guybrush Threepwood as he arrives in the Sea of Thieves. Most, myself included, were very happy to see not only more content, but also more tall tales. There were detractors, some disappointed to see there were no updates coming to the main sandbox, and no news on a growing cheating problem. Cheating was on the rise early in 2023, in part due to the release of the Hourglass PvP mode in Season 8. The volume of interactions that mode provided and sought after rewards saw an upsurge in cheat development. This was so bad that it had become the most talked about part of the game, and whenever any update or news would come out, people would be airing their frustrations. A blog post did go out in July before the launch of the first Monkey Island Tall Tale, which aims to address these concerns, but fans were disappointed with this. The problem was not being improved from their perspective, despite Rare's statements and statistics, but they were grateful that the issue had been addressed. The Monkey Island Tall Tales released, with parts 2 and 3 being delayed by 2 weeks. I really love these Tall Tales and I had a blast with them. I think they were an excellent addition to the game, but I reckon they just came at the wrong time. Pirates of the Caribbean had a much broader appeal compared to Monkey Island and was most likely a bigger success. Many fans were not satisfied with the Tall Tales, let alone a crossover, and felt the development time would be better spent elsewhere. Overall, I'm really happy we got them, but they should have come out next year instead. This year should have focused on the Flameheart storyline and the Briggsy storyline, both of which had very exciting previous chapters, and we still don't know what's happening with them. Walking it back a bit, on the 26th of July, Rare announced that Season 10 would be delayed again until the 19th of October, making the season last 7 months in total. Season 10's main feature, now known as Guilds, was taking much more time than expected and meant Season 10 was going to be delayed because of this. It wasn't all bad news, as 2 events were coming, a community weekend, and Season 11's main feature was to launch in November, just a month or so after it was originally planned, instead of February 2024. Keeping in mind too, the new Chest of Fortune commendations and rewards, as well as the Reaper chest counterparts, were also delayed with it, meaning players didn't even have them to do. Emissary Ledger rewards were refreshed however. The Monkey Island Tales were a good 10 hours of gameplay, but didn't have the staying power of things like world events. It was a disappointing initial video, even more when we consider how small Season 9 was and the cheating issues plaguing the game. Rare just couldn't catch a break. I'm unsure what happened behind the scenes, but it clearly wasn't planned. It's possible the dev resources across Monkey Island and Guilds caused a perfect storm internally and resulting in a very dark era for the game. I do think as of the release of this video, we're still in the catch-up phase, but the light is at the end of the tunnel. Season 10 is coming as a quote-unquote super season, starting with Guilds in October on day 1, the Voyage of the Siren Song in November, Safer Seas in December, and hopefully something in January, because Rare, you did say new content every month. We'll have a Season Pass, Plunder Pass, and hopefully be back to regular updates and even adventures in 2024. Anti-cheat is coming, constant work on hit registration is being done, and the combat flow too. I am extremely hopeful that Season 10 will be a soft relaunch for this game and bring back the excitement of early 2022, as Rare has addressed most of our concerns in the coming season. Aside from double gunners, you guys can get fucked apparently. That was a joke by the way, please don't TDM me. Overall, Season 9 started off well, and looking at the content on paper, it would have been amazing if it occurred within a 4-month period. But its legacy will be mired by delays and a cheating controversy, which unfortunately covers up all the best bits of it. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. My Season 10 review will be coming on Thursday, so let's see if Guilds was worth the wait. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.